Yeah, live commentary, of course, on talkSPORT of the FA Cup final. Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo, they both had smashing games. Gave United the win, but the post-match news, of course, it's been dominated by reports that Erik Ten Hag could still be sacked despite that result. The win gives him his second trophy in successive seasons, and he told talkSPORT after the game he feels his plan is coming together.
I started here a project, and we are there where we want to be. But when the players are not available, well, we can't win. But in 2 seasons, we are in 3 finals. In 2 seasons, we win 2 cups. We were in the Champions League. Now we are going to the Europa League. But what you see is we're constructing a team with incredible good players, but we need more good players because still also we have weaknesses, and we have to make it that we also in the depth that we need players who help the team, and then you can only be consistent, and that is what we need.
Andy, what do you make of his comments about the injuries? You can't win things when players are not available.
Every team suffers injuries, and we're in an era right now where squads are bigger than they've ever been. There's seemingly more injuries than I can remember amongst most of the whether it's the players are too brittle nowadays or whether or not they're kind of encouraged to put their hand up if they're not quite right. If that had been the case going back a few years, you'd have hardly played a game. I don't know why that is, but I wouldn't look to injuries if I was Erik Ten Hag. The one thing for me, Jeff, with that Man United team, they can have moments, and I said that, whenever you watch Man United, you know that they're going to create chance. They've got people who can score a goal. They've got some X factor in their team. They have, of course they have. But what we don't see on a regular enough basis is this project that he talks about. I don't see him building a project. I don't see him shaping a team and encouraging a United team to play in a way that we recognise. I see it all off the cuff, all a toss of a coin. What's going to happen? Never quite sure. And that is why I think he'll probably lose his position, because I don't think he's done that in 2 years. He's shown that he can set a team up at the weekend. He can win a trophy, and he's won 2 now. Good luck to him in that respect. But I don't see a United team ready on the back of a cup final success to attack the Premier League next year. Do you?
No, I don't. But,
no.
Not unless they make a large number of good signings. And, I'm not sure that financial fair play or profit and sustainability will allow them to do that. And B, I'm not sure that Manchester United has got the allure anymore for real top names.
Yeah,
look, it's a huge club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest club in the world.
Yeah,
but they finished 8th in the table.
They did, and the domestic basic stuff, The Premier League is how you assess United and where we look at them and where we see this progress that he talks about, and that's not been there enough. But look, for him, I felt I was very pleased for Erik Ten Hag the way that went at the weekend, because that's been an awful week for him. He's almost had his face rubbed in the dirt and humiliated with all this talk all week about losing his position, and him really having to answer questions after winning the cup about whether they've spoke to him about his situation or whether they haven't, and he couldn't enlighten us on that. So I'm not surprised he jumped on a plane and cleared off somewhere, Jeff. I'm not surprised, but I don't see him being in the job next year. I don't.
Joining us now, talkSPORT presenter and Manchester United fan Mark Goldbridge. Morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Morning, both. Hope you're well.
Yeah, very well, thanks. And I'm assuming you are as well. Look, Erik Ten Hag's jumped on that plane off on holiday. Do you expect to see him back at Old Trafford?
I want to see him back. I think the majority of the Man United fan base want to see him back. And it would be, I agree with what Andy just said. The way the club have handled this is it's been fantastic to win the FA Cup. We weren't expected to do it. And I think the fans, the players and the manager deserve it after a horrible season for a number of reasons that aren't all to do with the manager. But the way the club have handled it has taken a bit of a shine off. Even the questions after the FA Cup final, the day before, the day after, you've got to question this new ownership model and how they're running the football club, that they're interviewing managers before an FA Cup final and thinking it won't come out. It's embarrassing. And it's also embarrassing that they're not taking on board. I've never known a manager get sacked when he's got the majority of the fan base behind him.
How do you know he's got the majority of the fan base behind him, Mark?
Oh, 100%, Jeff. I mean, we see it on the United stand, you see it online, you see it at the match going fans. That there is a percentage that want Ten Hag out, but 100%, I'd bet every money I've got that at least 85% of this fan base want to keep him, because they're intelligent people, Jeff. They watch Man United every week and they know what the problems are. We know why we've had a bad season, and it's not all about the manager.
What you think? Are you then going down the road, Mark, that you think because of the injuries particularly to the central defensive positions, that's underpinned all the problems that you've had?
I think it's one of the factors. I mean, just quickly to list them off, I think that the Glazers selling the club halfway through the season left us in limbo for half of the season. I think Marcus Rashford and Casemiro were our two best players last year. They've completely disappeared. They've not been injured. They've just disappeared as players. We've had the off-field issues with Jadon Sancho, with Anthony, obviously Rashford in Belfast as well. We've had the injuries which have led to us playing a centre-back and our 8th choice young centre-back at centre-back. We bought a ball-playing goalkeeper. We can't play out from the back because we haven't got the defenders or a left-back to do it. We ignored the January transfer window. We haven't had a left-back all season.
Mark, is Erik Ten Hag not responsible for any of this?
I think Erik Ten Hag, as the manager, always has to take some responsibility. But I think what Ineos and the club need to do, and what fans want to happen, is for the club to say, collectively, we got it wrong. The manager, the players, the owners, the fitness department, and not throw another manager under the bus, because we've sacked a Dutch manager after winning the FA Cup before. We've sacked a manager every 2.5 years. We've started a new project every 2.5 years. And the fans are like, you're meant to be something new. Give us something new. And also what I would say is that if you start, look what Chelsea have done with Pochettino. Massive mistake, in my opinion. They're back at ground zero, starting a new project. We've got a manager that's won 2 trophies in 2 years. He should be given year 3. And a lot of United fans feel that we're going into year 3 of a 5-year project with Ten Hag. It's not perfect, but there's enough there to do it. You bring Kieran McKenna in or De Zerbi, we're back to year 0 again. Pep Guardiola might be gone in a year. We're not winning the league next year, but it's worth it going, let's see what year 3 is with what we're doing. His win percentage in cups is unbelievable, Ten Hag. Up until the last 2 months of the season, he had the best win ratio as a Man United manager, which seems unbelievable to me.
In cups, but what's his win percentage like in the Premier League? Look, it's one for another day, Mark, because we're running out of time. But look, enjoy the win. They were fantastic. I thought Bruno Fernandes was absolutely out of this world. Yeah. Good to talk to you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
Tell you what,
interesting.
And again, I would love to hear, Jeff, from the United fans. Does what Mark say?
80 to 85%, he believes behind Erik Ten Hag.
He believes that many are behind Erik Ten Hag. Well, if you are, come on and give us a call, because we haven't heard from you yet.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.